My wife's secret affair was exposed, and I made sure she paid for it. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. I always believed my marriage was solid, that my wife and I were on the same page about our future. We had been together for 12 years, married for 8, and while things weren't always perfect, I never had a single doubt about her. Until the day I found out she was sneaking around behind my back. My wife, Emma, 34F, was everything to me. I, 36M, built my life around our marriage. We had a beautiful home, great jobs, and from the outside, people probably thought we were the perfect couple. And honestly, I thought so too. She wasn't just my wife. She was my best friend, the person I trusted more than anyone. I was so wrong. Emma had been acting a little off for a while, but I didn't think much of it. We'd been together long enough that I figured every relationship has ups and downs. She had always been a social person, but recently she had started going out a lot more. Work happy hours, girls' nights, random last-minute dinners with her friends. At first, I didn't question it. I had my own career, my own life. I figured it was just a phase. But then the small things started piling up. She was glued to her phone constantly, and when I walked into the room, she'd lock the screen instantly. If I asked who she was texting, she'd roll her eyes and say, "Just Sarah, relax." She started dressing up a lot more before going out. New outfits, new perfume, spending extra time in front of the mirror. I'd jokingly ask, "Who are you trying to impress?" And she'd just laugh it off. And then there was the sex. Or, more accurately, the lack of it. We had always had a healthy sex life, but over the last few months, Emma had been completely uninterested. If I initiated anything, she'd say she was tired or stressed. At first, I didn't push, but then weeks turned into months and I started to wonder if something was seriously wrong. I even asked her at one point, "Is something bothering you? You've been distant lately." She gave me a quick kiss, smiled and said, "You're overthinking. Everything's fine." Everything was not fine? The moment everything changed? One night, she was in the shower and her phone was charging on the nightstand. I wasn't snooping. I had zero reason to suspect anything, but then her phone lit up and I saw the name Nathan pop up. I didn't recognize it. My stomach did this weird little flip, but I told myself, "It's probably nothing, don't be paranoid." Then another message came in. "Can't stop thinking about last night. I miss you already." My heart stopped. For a second, I just sat there, staring at the screen, my entire world tilting. I felt like I was going to be sick. My wife, my Emma, was cheating on me? I had to be sure. My hands were shaking as I picked up her phone. Her passcode was the same. She trusted me enough to leave her phone unlocked, which was almost funny considering what I was about to find. I opened her messages, and my entire marriage fell apart in front of me. She had been seeing Nathan for months. Texts about their meetups, about how she felt alive with him, how she was confused about our marriage but wasn't ready to leave yet, how she wished they had more time together. And the worst part, they had been sleeping together in our house, in our bed. I felt like I was going to explode. I could hear the shower still running, Emma humming like she didn't have a care in the world, like she wasn't ripping our marriage apart behind my back. At that moment, 1,000 emotions hit me at once. Rage, betrayal, humiliation. I wanted to burst into the bathroom, shove the phone in her face, and demand answers. But I didn't. Because if she wanted to play dirty, I was about to make sure she regretted it. I put the phone back exactly where I found it and walked out of the room. My mind was racing. I knew I had to be smart about this. If I confronted her now, she'd just deny it. She'd gaslight me, twist the story, maybe even blame me for our problems. So instead, I took screenshots. Every single message. Then, I transferred them to my own phone and backed them up in multiple places. My email, my laptop, even a hidden flash drive. If Emma was going to betray me, I needed proof. And I wasn't just going to catch her, I was going to make her pay. The next morning, I acted completely normal. Emma kissed me goodbye like nothing had happened, grabbed her coffee and headed to work. I watched her walk out the door, and for the first time in years, I felt nothing but pure hatred. As soon as she was gone, I made 3 phone calls. The first, a lawyer. The second, a private investigator. And the third, well, let's just say that was the one that would really destroy her, because if Emma thought she could get away with this, she was about to find out exactly how wrong she was. The second Emma walked out the door, I felt a strange sense of calm. I had been through every emotion: shock, anger, betrayal. But now? Now it was game time. I wasn't going to be the pathetic husband who got cheated on and just walked away quietly. I wasn't going to let Emma control the narrative. She had been planning her affair in secret, sneaking around behind my back for months, probably laughing about how clueless I was. She thought she was getting away with it. She had no idea what was coming. The first call I made was to a lawyer, not just any lawyer, the best damn divorce attorney I could find. I wasn't going to rush into anything blindly. I needed to know exactly how to protect myself, how to make sure Emma didn't walk away with a single cent more than she deserved. I explained the situation, keeping my voice steady even though my blood was boiling. The lawyer listened carefully and then gave me my first move. "Do not confront her yet," she said. "Gather everything: bank records, text messages. If she's spending money on this guy, we can use that in court." I had already backed up the messages, but now I was thinking bigger. Credit card statements, ATM withdrawals, hotel bookings. Emma thought she was being slick, but there's always a paper trail. The next call I made? A private investigator. I knew from the texts that Emma and Nathan were still actively seeing each other. If I could get photo evidence, something undeniable, it would be the final nail in her coffin. The PI hired was no joke. He had handled dozens of infidelity cases and knew exactly what to look for. "Give me 3 days," he said. "If she's meeting up with him, I'll catch it." Perfect. And the third call? That was the one that would really destroy her. Because while Emma was sneaking around behind my back, she had made one crucial mistake. She was cheating with a married man. Nathan had a wife. And she had no idea. I found her easily enough. Facebook is a beautiful thing. A little scrolling, and there she was. Lauren. Late 20s, pretty, the kind of woman who had the happy wife smile in all her pictures. She had no idea that her husband was screwing mine. So I sent her a message. "Hey Lauren, I know this is going to sound insane, but I think we need to talk. It's about your husband Nathan. I have proof he's been cheating on you with my wife." I attached screenshots. Not everything, just enough to get her attention. Then, I waited. Lauren responded within an hour. At first she was in denial. "Who is this? This has to be a mistake." I told her I understood, that I wished it was a mistake too. Then I sent more screenshots. Messages where Nathan called my wife beautiful, where he talked about sneaking away from home to meet up with her, where he promised Emma that one day they'd be together for real. The next message from Lauren? "Call me. Now." I dialed immediately. Lauren was furious. Not at me, at him. I could hear the rage shaking in her voice. "That piece of shit," she spat. "That absolute piece of shit." She had suspicions. The late nights, the sudden business trips, the way he guarded his phone. But she had trusted him. She had never expected this. I could relate. We talked for over an hour, swapping stories, comparing details. Turns out, Nathan had been feeding both of us the same lies. To her, he was stressed about work and needed time alone. To me, Emma was just going through a phase, needing girls' nights to unwind. But the best part? Lauren wasn't just going to sit quietly either. "Let's ruin them," she said. I liked her already. 3 days later, the private investigator sent me a goldmine. Photos, videos, undeniable proof. Emma and Nathan meeting up at a restaurant, holding hands across the table. Emma getting into his car, kissing him like she was some love-struck teenager. And the best one? Nathan and Emma walking into a hotel, together. They were screwed. I immediately forwarded everything to Lauren. "Do what you want with these," I texted. "I'll be handling things on my end." Her response? "Oh, I already have a plan." Lauren didn't just want to confront Nathan. She wanted to ruin him. And me? I was going to make sure Emma paid for every single second of this betrayal. That night, I finally made my move. Emma came home like nothing was wrong. She kissed me on the cheek, set her purse down, and started talking about her long day at work. I just watched her, let her dig herself deeper. Then I pulled out a folder and slid it across the table. Emma frowned, confused. "What's this?" I didn't say a word. She opened it, and the moment she saw the photos, her entire face drained of color. Her hands shook as she flipped through them. The photos of her and Nathan, the messages, the hotel check-ins. Then she looked up at me, eyes wide with panic. "Wait, I can explain." I leaned back in my chair, calm, in control. No need, I said smoothly. I already know everything. She froze. She knew. She had lost. But this was just the beginning, because Emma was about to lose everything. Emma just sat there, gripping the folder, her face pale. I didn't give her time to collect herself. I pulled out another document, divorce papers. Everything was already set in motion. My lawyer had drafted a bulletproof agreement, ensuring Emma got as little as possible. I want you out of the house by the end of the week, I said, my voice calm. I've already separated our bank accounts, and I've taken back access to all the credit cards. You'll need to find somewhere else to stay. She looked up at me, blinking rapidly. You're serious? As serious as you were when you were screwing Nathan in our bed, I shot back. Her lip trembled, and for a second I thought she was about to cry. But then, like the selfish person she was, her expression twisted into anger. You can't just throw me out like this, she snapped. We built this life together. No, I corrected. I built this life while you were running around behind my back. She huffed, flipping through the paperwork, probably looking for something to fight back with. But the lawyer had made sure everything was airtight. The house in my name. The assets, mostly mine. The only thing she was entitled to was a fair split of our savings, but since she had been spending money on her affair, my lawyer argued that she had already taken her share. She threw the papers onto the table. This is ridiculous. I need time to figure things out. You've had months, I said flatly. Now it's my turn. She stormed out of the kitchen, slamming the bedroom door behind her. I let her. I had won. She could throw her tantrums all she wanted, but it wouldn't change the fact that her comfortable life was over. I spent the next morning making sure everyone knew. I sent a group text to our close friends and family, attaching the same evidence I had given Emma. I didn't add any dramatic explanations, just the proof and a short message. Emma and I are getting a divorce. This is why. Then I blocked her on everything. She must have realized what I had done immediately, because within an hour I started getting calls from mutual friends. Some were supportive. Others, clearly the ones she had already gotten to, tried to tell me I was being too harsh. I ignored them all. The truth was out there and I was done defending myself. By the afternoon, I heard from my lawyer. Emma had already called hers trying to fight back, but it wasn't going to work. I had the upper hand in everything. I wasn't going to let her drag this out. But the best part was what happened to Nathan. Lauren didn't just confront him, she wrecked him. She sent the proof to his boss, which got him fired for violating company policy. She kicked him out of their house, drained their joint account before he could, and filed for divorce. Emma must have thought she and Nathan would ride off into the sunset together, but when she texted him, trying to salvage what was left, he never responded. He was too busy dealing with his own disaster. I knew she was panicking because she tried calling me, multiple times. I never picked up. She sent texts ranging from apologies to blame shifting. At first, it was, I made a mistake, please let's talk. Then it turned into, you're being petty. You didn't have to ruin my life. I didn't respond to any of them. By the end of the week, she had no choice. She packed her things, leaving behind anything she couldn't carry, and walked out of the house for the last time. I didn't watch her leave. I was already moving on. Emma lost everything. The house, the reputation, the stability she took for granted. And I walked away with my freedom. Emma was gone, but I wasn't done with her yet. She thought she could walk away, lick her wounds, and eventually spin the story in her favor. Maybe play the victim, make it seem like I had overreacted. But I had one last move to make sure she never escaped the truth of what she had done. I had planned this part carefully. It wasn't about anger anymore. I had already won. This was about making sure she felt it. The first thing I did? I sent an anonymous email to her job. Emma worked for a company that had a strict morality clause in their employee contracts. I didn't care enough to get her outright fired, but I made sure HR got copies of her affair messages and photos, especially the ones where she used company trips as an excuse to meet up with Nathan. I never got confirmation on what happened, but a month later, I heard from a mutual acquaintance that Emma was taking time off and considering other career opportunities. Translation? She either got fired or was forced to resign. The second thing I did? I made sure she had nowhere to go. Emma had always relied on her social circle for support and validation. The problem? Most of her friends were people we had met together, people who had seen the proof of what she did. Some had already cut her off, but for the ones still on the fence, I made sure they got a little reminder. I mailed printed copies of her text conversations with Nathan to the few neutral friends who hadn't taken sides. No note, no explanation, just cold, hard evidence. The fallout? Brutal. By the time Emma realized what I had done, it was too late. She showed up at my house one last time, unannounced, looking wrecked. "You're ruining my life," she hissed the second I opened the door. I just looked at her. "No, Emma, you ruined your life. I just made sure everyone saw the truth." She burst into tears. Tried to guilt me, begged me to at least stop destroying what was left of her world. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a long conversation. I just said, "Goodbye, Emma," and then I shut the door. That was the last time I ever saw her. Nathan, from what I heard, was completely ruined. He had no job, no wife, no savings. He tried getting in touch with Emma, but by then she was barely keeping herself afloat. I have no idea if they ever ended up together. I doubt it. Once the excitement of sneaking around was gone, so was whatever attraction they had. Meanwhile, I was free. The house? Mine. My reputation? Untouched. And my bank account? Still secure. The best revenge wasn't just taking her down, it was moving on without her, and I did.